Hey everyone, Sarah here from GlitchFeed, and I'm joined with Malik from Spearhead Games talking about stories, the Path of Destinies.
Hi, Sarah.
Thanks for joining me today to talk about.
Cool, my pleasure.
Yeah, of course. So, kind of to give an overview, what exactly is Stories, the Path of Destinies?
All right, so Stories, the Path of Destinies is an action RPG, and we've actually been talking about that. Is it actually an action RPG? There's action, there's interactive stories. So you play the role of this guy called Renardo. He's actually a fox that basically ex-pirate, and he's in a pretty bad situation. He's basically up against an evil empire that's about to win, and he's tasked to do the impossible, save the day. And as you play the game, you'll see that's not that easy, except he's got one trick up his sleeve, which is basically he can come back in time, basically, pretty much. And if things go south when the final battle happens, he can try different paths and eventually figure out a way to win through this.
Right, so the big, and I did get a chance to play this, the big kind of lesson of the story, or the big key to it, is that you go through this path, and then you restart, and you learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
So it has been tested before. What kind of did you guys do to make that a unique experience, to make it replayable? Like, what was your goal through that process?
Well, our initial inspiration was basically create a kind of interactive book where each time you open it, it tells a different story. Since it's a video game, it's based on your choices. And what that created is this narrative structure where each choice you make leads to a different ending. But we wanted to go a bit further than that, where we wanted a progression through these stories, some way for both the player and the character to actually keep going, keep learning through that. And that's how it ended up actually being something like Edge of Tomorrow or Groundhog Day, where actually each story is not the end, but it's just a part of like the going through all that ordeal to figure out how to win that battle, basically.
Right, and you talk about character progression, but there's a very interesting character that you have throughout the story, and that's the narrator. What was your inspiration for this kind of like funny, in your ear, always making snarky comment narrator that you have throughout the game that leads you through that process?
Well, a couple of things led us there. One, because of that storybook thing, and we had also an inspiration with fairy tales. It's pretty obvious when you play the game.
Yes. So
having like a kind of ebook narrator that kind of reads the story for you made a lot of sense. And also, as indies, it works pretty well to have one actor tell the whole story instead of 20. So it kind of was a great synergy of everything. Basically, it fit really well with the concept, with the mood of the game. It fit with what we could do. And he's funny because we want the players to have fun and have an adventure and, you know, be entertained as they play. And obviously, if you played a couple of these stories, we can go pretty dark and, you know, it can get serious. But, you know, so we can play the whole spectrum, basically. You have fun. He makes like fourth wall breaking jokes once in a while. But when it's time to get serious, the narrator can convey that emotion. And we find out that having like a good actor like Julian Casey, which we had, can really help with, you know, convey everything that's in the story and get you in it, basically.
Right, so we talked a little about the RPG, but there's a lot of action involved in the sense of the fighting style, which I think you called it sword fu, is how they called it. But then you also have concepts of the getting gems out of the game and also creating your new swords, and even so simple as if you have a certain sword, you can go down this path versus down this path, so the replayability. So how did you kind of use that to evolve your game even further than just a simple storybook RPG?
Well, obviously we wanted two things with these elements. One, exploration was a big component of the game. So the story itself is designed to be explorable, and that's one of the unique things I think with what we did is basically you can finish the game after a certain amount of stories, but you can explore as much as you like. Even after you finish it, you can keep exploring, and you don't have to start a new game to see different choices. So the gameplay also had to have that exploration component, visiting the different locations. And obviously it's fun when you find treasures when you explore locations. That's part of the gaming fun, you know. So we had to have these gems hidden here and there, the crafting elements, and these secret passages, which kind of are, you know, Metroidvania-like, where if you come back with that sword, you get this secret passage and you get somewhere. So it's part of, you know, having a consistent experience between the story and the game, really about exploring also.
Right, and you did hint on it. Like I said, I played it before. You hinted about the replayability, and that's something I really like about games like this, is that you can do like 4 stories, get that final hint, and then go through it. But it's almost fun to say, what if I tweak this decision? Because I made the mistake. I made one different decision, and suddenly my entire game's changed.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that stood out to me, and I'm sure that's one of the things you wanted.
Yeah.
To encourage this process is that it didn't feel like you were punishing us when we restarted. It felt like you were giving us more tools to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kind of failure is part of the experience. Right. It's not really failing. Usually in games, when you die, it's the end of it, and like we hit you, now you died. In our case, no, it's part of the fun, it's part of the exploration and the progression. And that fits with Rinaldo's journey, basically. He's trying to be a hero. And as you saw, when you finish a story, there's this question, what kind of hero are you? It's basically, okay, well, it's not as simple as you might think. Thinking you might be doing the right thing is not necessarily the right thing. Things, even though it's lighthearted and it's an adventure, nothing is simple. You trick us a lot. I noticed in that game too, there's a lot of tricks where you think, oh, this is my character, and then you discover, like you said, the truth. The truth aspect is the biggest thing, is that you discover things. It feels like you guys are almost sitting there like, just laughing at us behind the scenes, like, yes, I knew you'd do that. And here's the punishment you get. Try again. Like, it felt like that a lot too. Yeah, it's definitely part of the fun of basically breaking the expectations. We had 24 different stories to write, so we had to have a lot of fun, and it was very enjoyable to figure out, okay, what are all the possible outcomes with these elements in play, and it was very interesting.
And how you can make it different too, because each one does feel different. You make one different decision. So Stories of Path of Destinies, right now it's out for PlayStation 4 and on PC as well.
Yeah, PC,
right, so you can pick it up from the Humble Store, GOG, and
Steam, and you play as well.
I do, yeah. I did play it. I already got it. I know. You can play it. No big deal.
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you guys want to check it out, we're going to put a link in the description below. Thanks again for the interview.
Cool. Thanks to you.
I definitely encourage it. You guys should check it out. I had a lot of
fun.
Cool.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey guys, Sarah here, and I'm at PAX East. Thanks for watching all of our coverage. If you want to see more, you can just click these fantastic links. And always, you can like, comment, and subscribe to keep watching us and all of our shows.